Zheng, like Mo Xiaosheng, is a powerhouse at the peak of the Third Order Void Return stage but has been in retreat for years to understand the mysteries of the Void King realm, and rarely shows up. Mo Xiaosheng handles all matters concerning the Battle Sky Union. This situation is very common on shadowed stars. Because of the constraints of the laws of heaven and earth here, the limit that a cultivator can reach is the Third Order Void Return stage, but every strong man who reaches this state will not be content with the status quo, and wants to go further on this basis to achieve the Void King realm. No one has succeeded, but this does not hinder the determination and pace of these powerhouses to explore the heavenly law of martial art. When the Emperor Garden was opened, Zheng also went there, but it was not very rewarding. At this time, the matter being discussed with Mo Xiaosheng was related to the Emperor Garden. At this moment, footsteps suddenly came from outside the temple, and then a disciple's voice came reporting to the sect master and great elder. Thunder Typhoon Sect Senior Fang Peng have come to see you. Old Ghost Fang? Zheng frowned, and said displeasedly, that old guy actually dared to come to my Battle Sky City? Isn't it too much, not putting this coup in his eyes? Mo Xiaosheng also showed a look of suspicion. It's one that both Battle Sky Union and Thunder Typhoon Sect are one of the two giants of the Shadowed Star. Although they can't be said to be incompatible with each other, there is a little contact, but there is frictions. Every year, the disciples will have many battles, and many people will be killed and injured. Especially going deep into the opponent's rudder, this is a great taboo. Moreover, Fang Peng's identity was also extraordinary. He was the sect master of Thunder Typhoon Sect, and his identity was comparable to Zheng. With his status and sensitive identity, he rushed to Battle Sky City. It is very likely to cause friction and disputes between the two giants, and then cause a war between the two parties, so after hearing the disciples' report, Zheng suddenly became a little angry. Union Master could relax a bit. Although Mo Xiaosheng was also very confused, he thought more carefully than Zheng, and quickly said, Old Ghost Fang dared to come to Battle Sky City. Maybe there is something important to discuss with the Union Master. Let's see what he is doing here, and then it's not too late to make a decision. Hearing what he said, Zheng also felt somewhat reasonable. And as host, he wasn't afraid of the Fang Peng one person, so he nodded slightly after pondering for a moment. If this is the case, then according to the intention of the Great Elder, if he really comes to provoke my Battle Sky Union, humph, the old man will let him know. What does it mean to be overpowered? The voice just fell. A loud laugh came from outside the hall, and then a hearty voice came, I haven't seen him for many years. Brother Ku's temper is still so hot. At the same time as the sound came, a figure appeared outside the hall. The disciple of the Battle Sky Union was shocked and quickly wanted to stop it, but was kicked aside by the other party. He didn't get up for a long time. Soon, there was someone coming. He walked directly into the hall without being polite at all, looking at the place like his own courtyard, with a pleasant expression. Zheng's face was gloomy. Mo Xiaosheng also frowned, his expression a little unhappy. The person who came was naturally Fang Peng, the sect master of Thunder Typhoon Sect, but neither of them expected that this guy had such a thick face that he would come in uninvited. After entering the hall, Fang Peng found a place to sit down, squinting at Zheng and said, Brother Ku, I'm a guest from afar. Why don't I see a cup of tea served? Battle Sky Union will not be so stingy, right? HMPH, if someone else arrives, Ku will definitely welcome then. As for you, tea will be avoided. Zheng snorted coldly. Fang Peng curled his lips, but he didn't mean much about this irrelevant topic. Fang, old ghost, you are not in Thunder Typhoon Sect. What are you doing coming to my Battle Sky City for a long distance? Zheng didn't go around the corner with him, and asked straightforwardly, Changping Xuan has fallen in the Emperor Garden. You are leaving the Thunder Typhoon Sect rashly? Are you not afraid that someone will take the opportunity to commit crimes? Who dares? When Zheng talked about Changping Xuan's fall, Fang Peng's expression was a little gloomy, and he snorted coldly, although I grow old and the elder fall unfortunately, my Thunder Typhoon Sect is not a vegetarian. Who dares to go seeking a dead end? The tone is not small. Zheng snorted, and a dangerous light flashed in his eyes. If the old man make you stay here, I think your Thunder Typhoon sector no more than chickens and dogs. Make me stay. Fang Peng pointed at himself with a smile on his face. Brother Ku, don't boast shamelessly. If you are really sure of this, you might as well try to see if you can really do it with this Fang. With one word, the dangerous light in Zheng's eyes flickered more and more intense. It seemed that he really wanted to make a move. After all, if Fang Peng was beheaded here, the Thunder Typhoon sect would surely be disintegrated, and the two giants of the Shadowed Star would only be left with only one Battle Sky Union. However, Fang Peng was so calm and relaxed, as if there was something to rely on, which made Zheng a little uncertain, and he dared not make up his mind. Mo Xiaosheng also looked puzzled. Although Fang Peng's strength is good, since he has entered Battle Sky City, he can't help it even if he wants to go out. If the old guy is not so mentally retarded, would he take the initiative to send himself to the death door? Come on. After a stalemate, Fang Peng waved his hand and said, to tell you the truth, this time Fang dared to go deep into the Battle Sky Union alone, but he came by orders. Ordered. Zheng and Mo Xiaosheng were both startled. What order, and whose order? Fang Peng is sect master of Thunder Typhoon. Who can command him? Both of them felt a sudden shock, vaguely guessing. Who do you think? Fang Peng squinted at them. Contacting his gaze, both Zheng and Mo Xiaosheng's expressions became serious. After a while, Zheng hesitated and said, could it be there? Yes, it's over there. Except over there, who can let Fang take such a trip in person? Fang Peng smiled. Or do you think the old man will come here to die? Although the old man is not young, but I haven't lived enough, how can I go deep into the tiger's den if I don't have something to rely on? Although the words were not pleasant to hear, Zheng and Mo Xiaosheng looked at each other, and they could only suppress the murderous intent in their hearts. Since the other party came under the order of the other side, he can't do it himself. Don't look at Battle Sky Union and Thunder Typhoon as the two giants of the Shadowed Star, but compared with that, they're insignificant. Thousands of years ago, there was an ancient young sect that was comparable to the forces of the Battle Union sect and Thunder Typhoon sect, but because it was offending that side, it was uprooted overnight, which shows how terrifying the power there is. It's just that the people over there have never asked about world affairs. Why would they order Fang Peng to contact the Battle Sky Union this time? Brother Fang, if you want to be straightforward, you and I know that the reason why the Battle Sky Union and Thunder Typhoon sect can dominate the Shadowed Star is just because of the sniffs over there. Since it is the matter from over there, of course my Battle Sky Union won't stand by. Zheng took a deep breath and his attitude became much easier. Brother Ku really knows current affairs. Fang Peng laughed, and immediately said with a solemn expression, the kid of High Heaven sect have left the Flowing Flame sand field. Zheng was taken aback, and quickly reacted, you mean the kid called Xianxia? True. Fang Peng nodded slightly, and seeing his course of action, it seems that he wants to go to the Shadow Moon Palace. Shadow Moon Palace? Zheng frowned. What does this have to do with us? Brother Ku, why bother to ask and pretend to be confused? Fang Peng sneered. Although the High Heaven sect is nothing, it is located in the Flowing Flame sand, and no one can attack it. In time, when they develop and grow, this Shadowed Star will still have a foothold for you and my two sects. Brother Fang meant to stifle this danger in the bud? True. Fang Peng nodded sternly. If he has been hiding in the Flowing Flame sand, I'm afraid no one really has anything to do with him, but since he ran out recklessly, then his life and death are beyond his control. That being said, I heard that this kid's strength is extraordinary. Normal people can't do anything with him. Moreover, it seems that he has many powerful external forces to borrow. So what? No matter how great his strength is, it is just a new void return stage that has just broken through. There are countless masters in both you and me. Is there no way to take him? Zheng nodded slightly, and felt that he had made some fuss, but he still said suspiciously, "But what does it have to do with that side?" "Naturally related." Fang Peng smiled. "High Heaven Sect have a Void King grade battleship. Didn't Brother Ku have heard of it?" "Ku has heard of it, but is it really a Void King grade battleship?" Zheng had some doubts. "Is it right? You might as well ask Elder Mo. Elder Mo should have seen it with his own eyes." Zheng quickly looked at Mo Xiaosheng, who nodded solemnly and said, "Yes, it is indeed a Void King grade battleship, but I don't know where they got it from, perhaps in an ancient ruin. No matter where they got it from, the key is that as long as we can get this battleship, we can leave the Shadowed Star and go to other cultivation stars to achieve the Void King realm." As soon as these words came out, both Mo Xiaosheng and Zheng were shocked, and their eyes showed the color of the wings. The Void King realm, the realm they dream of but has been unable to reach it, and a Void King grade battleship made this extravagant hope possible. Presumably Brother Ku should have understood something, and Xian is also in the High Heaven Sect, and I heard that she also serves as the Great Elder. Do you think the High Heaven Sect will be let go?" Fang Peng sneered. "That's it." Zheng nodded slightly, and finally understood, whether it was because of the Void King grade battleship or because of Xian, there was no way to sit back and watch the High Heaven Sect grow, and would definitely find a chance to eradicate it. And their sect master, Xianxia, outing as an opportunity. "Is it only for you and me?" Zheng asked. "This is the case for the time being, but people will be sent over there. They have a good calculation." Zheng snorted coldly. "It is almost conceivable that if the High Heaven Sect were to be eradicated, the Void King grade battleship would definitely fall into the hands of that side. As for the Thunder Typhoon and Battle Sky Union, they would only just be able to drink some soup afterwards. Who has the big fist?" Zheng smiled helplessly. "I have already passed on how to cooperate. You and I will discuss one or two more carefully, because this time it is related to the battleship and Xian, so it is not only just kill Xianxia, but we have to capture him alive. And use this as a bargaining chip to force High Heaven Sect to surrender the battleship willingly." Of the conspiracy between Zheng and Fang Peng, Xianxia naturally knew nothing about it. At this moment, he was still flying in the direction of the Shadow Moon Palace. As always, when he entered a city he will find practical spirit pill, wonderful medicine, and he went shopping frantically. The Saint Crystal in the space ring shrank at an extremely fast speed, but corresponding to it was the increase of various and different levels of spirit pill. The harvest is huge. 3 months later, Xianxia stood in the air, looking at a city not far away. Heavenly Fate City. His gaze shifted. 50 miles away from Heavenly Fate City, there was a small and devastated mountain, Dragon Cave Mountain. That was the first stop when Xianxia came to the Shadowed Star. It was also there that he made many friends, set up many enemies, and allowed himself to grow slowly. It is a pity that this unique small mountain range managed by Wu Yi, Yang Yan and others was destroyed in that great battle. As the world changed, Xianxia looked at the desolate Dragon Cave Mountain, as if he had seen his own rapid growth in the last 10 years. After a long while, he slowly shook his head, condensed his mind, and headed straight to Heavenly Fate City. He flew all the way from Flowing Flame Sand Field to this place. Although it took 3 full months, there was no time for cultivation on the road. It is just a matter of comprehension and experience from the Emperor Garden. But the harvest is completely fine. Xianxia has fully understood the first half of the Demon Blood Thread secret technique, and only needs to give him enough time to practice, then he can increase the Golden Blood Thread transformation and increase its power in battle. He also took out Pill Way True Understanding to read it from time to time, and every time he got a new harvest. These 3 months, he had a very fulfilling life. The towering and huge city lord's mansion. Xianxia stepped forward, and was stopped by the cultivator guarding outside the mansion. The leading cultivator took a look at Xianxia, suddenly changed his countenance, and clasped his fist. "I have seen Sect Master Yang." "Oh, you recognize me?" Xianxia smiled and looked at the person who said it, somewhat surprised. This martial artist called Xianxia scratched his head and said respectfully, when Sect Master Yang made a big mess in the Heavenly Fate City, Zheng had seen Sect Master Yang from a distance, so that's it. Yang Kai nodded lightly. Since someone knows, then it will be easy, and he said, is the Fei City Master here? I'm here to discuss something with him. Saying this, he walked straight in. However, Xianxia stood in front of him, showing a dilemma. Embarrassed, returning to Sect Master Yang's words. The city master is not in the city right now. Not here? Yang Kai was stunned. Unexpectedly, he ran over thousands of miles away, and actually rushed to the air. He couldn't help feeling depressed. After thinking about it, he said, what about Elder Qian? Elder Qian is not here either. Xianxia was even more embarrassed. Where did they go? Yang Kai looked speechless. It hadn't been long since he came back from the Emperor Garden. The two of them didn't check their harvest well, and then went somewhere. The Elder and Lord City Master went to Fallen Emperor Mountain together. Xianxia replied quickly. What are they doing at the Fallen Emperor Mountain? Yang Kai frowned. Xianxia said, has Sect Master Yang never heard of the abnormal changes in Fallen Emperor Mountain? What's the change? Yang Kai suddenly became interested. Half an hour later, Yang Kai left Heavenly Fate City, sacrificed the Star Shuttle, and drove towards the direction of Fallen Emperor Mountain. From Xianxia, he finally learned something. There are a large number of ancient cultivators' cave ruins in Fallen Emperor Mountain, and there is even a ruin of a sect in it. This news is not unbelievable. After the news spread, it immediately attracted a large number of cultivators from the Shadowed Star to explore Fallen Emperor Mountain. Moreover, this is not a false rumor, but a fact. Some people searched for heaven-defying secret techniques, some got a lot of property in it, and some even found the best artifact. It is said that even the Void King Great Artifact have come out. Of course, this point may be a bit of an exaggeration. No matter where the star is, the Void King Great Artifact is a rare good thing, because there are too few refiners who can refine this kind of artifact. But it is undeniable that Fallen Emperor Mountain has indeed become the focus of attention of the entire Shadowed Star. Fallen Emperor Mountain, Zheng Kai had been there once, and it was with Fei Jitu and others went to rescue Qiantong. The reason why this mountain range is called Fallen Emperor Mountain is precisely because of the rumor that the Great Emperor has fallen here. And the power of the Emperor prestige that exists all year round in the Fallen Emperor Mountain also adds infinite credibility to this statement. The deeper you go in, the stronger the power of the Emperor prestige. Before the Emperor Garden was born, after the Shadowed Star's cultivators were promoted to the Void Return stage, many people would enter the Falling Emperor Mountain to condense their own chi with the help of the power of the Emperor prestige. The deeper they go inside, the stronger the power of Emperor prestige is. No cultivator can enter the interior of Fallen Emperor Mountain, because no one can bear the oppression of Emperor prestige. However, after the birth of Emperor Garden, the power of Emperor prestige that had been shrouded in Fallen Emperor Mountain disappeared. The reason is due to the Emperor Garden. The Emperor Garden originally existed in the underground of Fallen Emperor Mountain, which is not known how many meters below it, so the power of the Emperor prestige will cover this mountain range, but once the Emperor Garden is born, the Emperor prestige emanating from the Emperor Garden naturally cannot affect this mountain range. In the past, no one was able to go deep into Fallen Emperor Mountain, and at this moment, it could no longer stop the pace of exploration of the cultivators. Originally, it was just a few cultivators who were curious about what was in the Fallen Emperor Mountain, and they rushed together, but they found a secret ancient cave mansion there and obtained a lot of benefits. These people were also very treacherous and did not spread the news. Instead, it is hidden. If it weren't for the unequal distribution that caused each other to kill each other, the news would not leak out. Previously, the cultivators of the entire Shadowed Star were paying attention to the dynamics of the Emperor Garden, so there was not much attention on the changes and internal news of Fallen Emperor Mountain. But now, when the attention of the world moved away from the Emperor Garden, Fallen Emperor Mountain immediately became a sweet potato. Especially when news came out that there were a large number of ancient cultivate EPR's cave mansion and sect sites in Fallen Emperor Mountain. The entire shadowed star was about to boil. Countless cultivators rushed to the crowd in a hurry, rushing into Fallen Emperor Mountain in groups. This happened 3 or 4 months ago, when Xianxia left the High Heaven sect, and he had just purchased a lot of elixir on this journey, and he has been immersed in the research of the secret technique of demon blood thread until way true understanding. Entering enlightenment, so there is no news in the unexpected world, and it is normal to be unclear. He didn't know until he came to the Heavenly Fate City. Of course, Xianxia was very interested in the ancient cultivator's cave mansion and the sect ruins. Now that he know, he didn't mind take a trip to find Xianxia and Feiji too, because waiting in the Heavenly Fate City will be a waste of time. So after a little understanding of the situation, Xianxia went straight to Fallen Emperor Mountain. Flew all the way, he found that many cultivators kept the same direction with him as he rushed towards Fallen Emperor Mountain. It seemed that the news was not groundless, it was very likely that it was true. Otherwise, it won't attract so many people. Xianxia naturally remembered the location of Fallen Emperor Mountain, and it was not too far from Heavenly Fate City. 10 days later, a rainbow light came from Fallen Emperor Mountain. The light dissipated, and Xianxia's figure appeared. Looking at the countless cultivators below, Xianxia frowned. He didn't expect it to be so lively outside the Fallen Emperor Mountain. Roughly speaking, there are as many as tens of thousands of cultivators staying in the periphery, and the cultivation level of these warriors is also different. True Yuan stage, divine movement boundary, transcendent stage, saint stage. Even the separation and reunion boundary under the true Yuan stage. What are they doing here? Xianxia looked at them with consternation. Such strength, such a cultivation base, rushing into a dangerous place, it is almost tantamount to looking for death. But after thinking about it carefully, Xianxia was relieved again. Since he have chosen the path of cultivation, he is naturally not afraid to take some risks. He have also walked all the way from these realms back then, he have a deep understanding of this. The more dangerous the place, the greater the benefit and the more it can help the cultivator to grow. If these cultivators are lucky enough to find an ancient cultivator's cave, maybe they will never have to worry about future training resources. And now that there is no trace of the Emperor prestige in the Falling Emperor Mountain, it can be said that even ordinary people who have not cultivated enter it, they are not worried about their own safety. Fallen Emperor Mountain is also different from other mountain ranges. Because of the perennial Emperor prestige in the past, there are no living creatures inside Fallen Emperor Mountain. The cultivators who enter it are not afraid of encountering vicious or powerful monster beast. The only thing that needs to be concerned is the human beings who are also cultivators. Killing to win a treasure. There should be such a scene here from time to time, but as long as they don't go deep into the inner position and do their best, they may not fall. All kinds of thoughts flashed in his mind, and Xianxia quickly understood why these weak cultivators gathered here. Not only that, some cultivators didn't want to go deep into Fallen Emperor Mountain, but just used this opportunity to do some business. In that crowded place, countless stalls were randomly placed on the ground, and the stuff on the stalls have everything. The business at some stalls seemed to be pretty good, and a lot of people gathered around, and they were bargaining with the stall owner. It was like a lively market. Xianxia laughed dumbly. He don't need to care too much about other people's affairs. This trip to the Fallen Emperor Mountain is just a coincidence. What he have to do now is to see if he can find Xianxia or Feiji too. It's okay to explore here. If there is a harvest, it will make him happy. If there is no gain, it will not harm him. Thinking of this, Xianxia shakes his clothes and falls downward. Just after receiving the star shuttle, several cultivators suddenly rushed towards him, each with a flattering smile on their face, and rushed to Xianxia from afar. Yang Kai frowned and didn't know what these people wanted to do. He stretched out his hand but didn't hit the smiley people. He just stood there and looked at them faintly, and then asked, "What are you people doing?" Tian Weiman have seen friends. One of the most savvy fighters said quickly. Others followed suit. What's interesting is that these people are all cultivators of the Saint King realm. To be continued.